Your presence once became my anchor, holding steady through the strain. But the meaning slowly shifted as our hearts untied the chain. I still sense the softened tremor from the dreams we couldn't mold. Though the truth grew more uncertain, something stayed in threads of gold. Verdant cross been through our memory, stretching where our hopes once grew. All the warmth we tried to nurture still reflects a part of you. I recall your quiet guidance, tempering the thoughts I fear. But the pull of hidden choices drew our journeys far entire. If tomorrow gives an answer for the things we couldn't stay, I will guard the gentle remnants, resting deep inside today. Verdant cross been through our memory, stretching where our hopes once grew. All the warmth we tried to nurture still reflects a part of you. Maybe time was not forgiving, maybe hearts were hard to read. Still your presence lingers softly in the thoughts I always need. Verdant cross been through our memory, stretching where our hopes once grew. All the warmth we tried to nurture still reflects a part of you. Though the moments fade behind me and the days continue through, I will hold the tender comfort of the life I shared with you. carried weight I couldn't bear, moments lost in heavy air. I kept the storms that shook my chest, trying hard to get some rest. I walked through days that bent my soul, losing grip on all control. But even when my hope went smoke, I learned what stayed when I broke. I kept the tears I couldn't speak, rising slow through every week. I tried to stand when strength was thin, fighting battles deep within. But through the nights I felt undone, something warm had just begun, a quiet truth beneath the yoke, a peace that stayed when I broke. It didn't shout, it didn't shine, but lived between the fractured line. This is what stayed when I broke. Every whisper left unspoke, every breath through every ache, every step I had to take, though the pain rose like a choke. Love remained in what stayed when I broke. I thought the hurt would take it all, leave me stranded in my fall. But slowly through the shattered pain, I felt a light begin again. It wasn't bright, it wasn't proud, but still it pushed against the cloud, a gentle hold I couldn't revoke, the part that stayed when I broke. Maybe tears were meant to cleanse every wound I never meant. Maybe pain was meant to guide it toward the truth I hold inside. Maybe loss was teaching me what was meant eternally. Maybe hope rose through the smoke, revealing all that stayed when I broke. I broke. Every whisper left unspoke, every breath through every ache, every step I had to take, though the pain rose like a choke. Love remained in what stayed when I broke. And now wherever life may go, I walk with what stayed when I broke. I've been holding on to pieces of the things I lost, the things I loved. I tried to leave them far behind, but somehow they stayed in my mind. I kept a picture in my head of every word we ever said. Some memories hurt, some memories heal, but all of them taught me what's real. I spent so long inside the ache, trying hard not to break. But even through the painful part, something gentle filled my heart. I learned that time can bend a soul, change the way we lose control. But through the hurt and everything, some truths remain and still can't sing. And though the past can weigh me down, it's where my strength was somehow found. What stayed with me was everything I thought I lost through suffering. The love, the hurt, the part of me that learned to breathe and learned to see. And though I cried so painfully, I kept the part that stayed with me. I still remember soft goodbyes, the ones that echoed in my eyes. But somehow through the hardest days, my heart held on in quiet ways. I kept the lessons from the scars, the dreams I buried in the dark. And somehow all that broke in me showed me a path I couldn't see. Maybe strength was born from loss, maybe love survived the cost. Maybe all I left behind was meant to shape my fragile mind. Maybe hope was always near, even when my heart felt fear. Maybe life was teaching me how much I'd grow eventually. What stayed with me was everything I thought I lost through suffering. The love, the hurt, the part of me that learned to breathe and learn to see. And though I cried so painfully, I kept the part that stayed with me. Through every breath and every plea, I learned what still remained in me. And though the past won't set me free, I'll hold the part that stayed with me. I held the nights that broke my breath, moments close to feeling dead. I kept the fears I couldn't name, walking through the hidden flame. I carried thoughts that bend my spine, trying hard to draw the line. But even when my strength withdrew, something soft carried me through. Kept the pain I couldn't share, pressed beneath the heavy stare. I tried to rise when light felt gone, barely holding on and on. But through the days I shook inside, something warm refused to hide. A quiet truth that slowly grew, a gentle hand carried me through. It wasn't loud, it wasn't clear, but still it held me near. This is what carried me through every tear I stumbled into, every breath when I felt lost, every storm that had a call. Though my heart felt split in two, love remained and carried me through. I thought my hope would disappear, sink beneath the weight of fear. But slowly through the quiet ache, something whispered you awake. didn't shout, it didn't plan, but still it reached to touch my hand. A strength I never fully knew, a tender force carried me through. Maybe loss was meant to guide toward a fire kept inside. Maybe pain was there to show how far the heart can truly go. Maybe love was standing near, waiting past the waves of fear. Maybe hope was always true, the force that carried me through. This is what carried me through. Every tear I stumbled into, every breath when I fell lost, every storm that had a cause. Though my heart felt split in two, love remained and carried me through. And now whatever comes anew, I trust in what once carried me through. No matter where my path leads to, I'll rise with what carried me through. I never thought the weight I felt would be the thing that made me melt. I tried to stand when I was weak, but every step was far from sleek. I held to things I couldn't show, hoping somehow they'd let me grow. And even when the tears ran thin, they shaped the person I've become within. I lost myself 1,000 times, searching for the right outlines. I hid the things that hurt the most, afraid of what I couldn't boast. But looking back, I see it clear, the lessons held behind each fear. And through it all I came to see the truth of what hurt taught me. Some days broke me, some days healed, but all of them became my shield. This is what hurt taught me now, how to rise from every vow, every breath through every ache, every part I couldn't fake, though it pushed too hard to see. I learned the most from what hurt taught me. I didn't know that losing things could help my heart grow softer wings. I didn't know that broken parts could still become my truest stars. The love I held, the love I lost, it made me realize the cost. But through the hurt I tried to flee, I found a stronger side of me. Maybe all the days I cried were building strength I kept inside. Maybe every tear I shed was carving paths where hope was led. Maybe I wasn't meant to see who I become when I break free. Maybe pain can plant a seed for every truth my heart will need. This is what hurt taught me now, how to rise from every vow, every breath through every ache, every part I couldn't fake, though it pushed too hard. taught me. Through all the trials life gave to me, I found the truth in how I'd be. And though I break continually, I'm growing still. From what hurt taught me. Held the weight that pulled me down, tried to breathe but nearly drowned. I kept the thoughts I couldn't hide, folded deep from side to side. I carried fears I didn't name, lost myself in quiet shame. Through the hurt I can't explain, I learned what I became through pain. Kept the scars that marked my path, thinking somehow they would last. I tried to walk when strength felt thin, fighting battles deep within. Slowly through the broken part, something rose inside my heart. A softer truth began to reign, to show what I became through pain. In the moments I felt weak, a hidden courage tried to speak. This is what I became through pain. Every loss and every strain, every breath I fought to take, every fear I had to break. Though the nights felt cold and vain, strength was born from what I gained through pain. I thought the hurt would end my way, steal the hope I tried to stay. But in the quiet of the ache, I found a truth no hurt could take. It wasn't loud, it wasn't fast, but it was something built to last. A steady pulse beneath the rain, a sign of what I became through pain. Maybe every tear I bled was planting hope where fear had spread. Maybe all the scars I wore, the open doors I feared before. Maybe love was standing near, waiting for my heart to hear. Maybe lost had things to gain, shaping what I became through pain. This is what I became through pain. Every loss and every strain, every breath I fought to take, every fear I had to break. Though the nights felt cold and vain, strength was born from what I gained through pain. And now I rise through every chain, holding what I learned through pain. No matter how the wounds remain, I'm stronger from what I became through pain. Strongest born from what I gained through carried pain I couldn't name, lost inside a hidden flame. I held the thoughts I couldn't speak, breaking quietly each week. I walked through days I barely stood, trying hard to do some good. And though the hurt kept overtaking, I kept what I held while breaking. I held the truths I tried to hide, buried somewhere deep inside. I kept the hopes that slipped my hands, still believing life expands. And even when my breath felt thin, something whispered from within, you're more than what the ache is making. Hold on to what you held while breaking. And in the cracks that felt so wide, a little courage stayed inside. This is what I held back then, when I broke again and again. Every spark that wouldn't fade, every string my heart had made. Though the world felt cold and shaking, I held on to what I kept while breaking. I thought my heart would split apart, lose the rhythm of its start. But slowly in the dimmest night, I found a slow returning light. It wasn't big, it wasn't loud, but still it rose above the cloud. A truth no sorrow kept from waking, a peace I held while I was breaking. Maybe breaking wasn't wrong, maybe it was making strong. Maybe tales were meant to clear all the things I kept in fear. Maybe love was standing near, waiting for my heart to hear. Maybe hope was quietly taking root in what I held while breaking. This is what I held back then, when I broke again and again. Every spark that wouldn't fade, every strength my heart had made. Though the world felt cold and shaking, I held on to what I kept while breaking. And now no matter what I'm facing, I rise from what I held while breaking. Through every storm, through every aching, I'm shaped by what I held while breaking. Held a light beneath my chest, hoping time would do the rest. I kept the things I couldn't say, locked inside to hide the ache. I tried to move through every pain, but some things don't just fade away. And though I pushed the hurt aside, it stayed with me, still tucked inside. I carried words I never spoke, they stayed with me through every choke. I kept the memories deep and low, afraid to let the feelings show. But even when I hit the fight, my heart still tried to find the light. And every truth I tried to hide still found its way to stay inside. I never meant to lose my way, but healing takes its time each day. So here I am, with what I kept inside, all the hurt I used to hide, every tear and every fear, every truth that stayed so near. Even when I tried to let it slide, I still live with what I kept inside. I used to break behind the scenes, struggling hard to find my means. But in the places where I fell, I learned to treat myself as well. I found a way to breathe again, to hold my heart and let it mend. And through the weight I had to fight, I found a small but steady light. Maybe love can heal the past, maybe hurt won't always last. Maybe strength is born from pain, maybe I can rise again. Maybe everything I tried to hide was only meant to help my stride. Maybe all I pushed aside still shaped the me I kept inside. So here I am, with what I kept inside, all the hurt I used to hide, every tear and every fear, every truth that stayed so near. Even when I tried to let it slide, I still live with what I kept inside. Through every breath I tried to guide, I learned to trust the heart inside. And even when I lost my pride, I found myself, what I kept inside. Held the moments that once hurt, the kind that left me in the dirt. I tried to rise above the strain, but some things stay inside the pain. I watched the pieces drift away, ones I fought so hard to say. Yet somehow through the part I wept, I found the strength inside what's left. I carried a weight I couldn't bear, hoping someone else would care. I tried to fix what slipped my hand, but some things I don't understand. I learned that losing isn't wrong, it It's where the heart begins to grow strong. And though it broke a part of me, I found myself in what could be. Not everything is mine to hold. Some stories need to just unfold. This is what I lost to keep. All the truths that made me steep. Every breath I fought to take. Every step I tried to make. And though the cost ran far too deep, I found my heart. And what I lost to keep. I thought I'd never rise again, never learn to trust within. But through the hurt my heart could see the parts of life meant just for me. I learned that love is never gone. It lingers somewhere deep and strong. And even when I broke apart, it stitched itself around my heart. Maybe loss was meant to guide, to teach me what I hold inside. Maybe all the hurt and doubt was pushing something new to sprout. Maybe all the tears I shed watered seeds I didn't dread. Maybe what was meant to sleep became the truth I lost to keep. This is what I lost to keep. All the truths that made me steep. Every breath I fought to take. Every step I tried to make. And though the cost ran far too deep, I found my heart. And what I lost to keep. Through every break, through every leap, I held the part I lost to keep. And though the past no longer speaks, I live within what I lost to keep. Tried to make it through the nights, counting reasons I survived. I carried hurt I never showed, but somehow strength still slowly grew. I whispered hope beneath my breath, trying hard to do my best. Through every push and every pull, my heart learned how to stay this full. I once believed I'd lose it all, but I stayed standing through the fall. I kept the dreams I couldn't see, hidden deep inside of me. And though the past still weighs a ton, I've learned I'm not the only one who tries to rise from where they've been and find the courage left within. It's not the life I used to know, but somehow I still start to grow. So I hold on to what I still hold, every truth my heart was told. Through the hurt and through the years, through the doubts and hidden fears, even when the world feels cold, I keep the part of what I still hold. I lost a lot along the way. Some things changed, some chose to stay, but every moment shaped my soul into something more than all I stole. I kept the faith I thought I lost, learning strength can bear the cost. And Through the ache I came to see there's still a gentle side of me. Maybe love can still survive even when we barely try. Maybe hope is born from pain. Maybe hearts can rise again. Maybe all I push through yet is proof there's more for me to get. Maybe everything I've known has built a heart that's finally grown. So I hold on to what I still hold, every truth my heart was told. Through the hurt and through the years, through the doubts and hidden fears. Even when the world feels cold, I keep the part of what I still hold. Through every breath and every toll, I found the strength inside my soul. No matter where my story goes, I'll keep the part of what I still hold. Carried weight I couldn't name, tried to smile through every flame. I kept the parts I couldn't share, hoping someone else would care. I held the days that bent my spine, moments lost between the line. But even when I broke within, I found what my heart learned again. I kept the fears that made me hide, held them close from side to side. I tried to walk through what I'd lost, never knowing what it cost. And though my voice felt faint and thin, something warm pulled me back in. A quiet truth beneath my skin, the thing my heart had learned again. Through every tear I couldn't speak, a gentle courage touched the weak. And this is what my heart learned again: to rise above the now and then, to find a spark in every fall, to stand when I had lost it all, even when I shook within. Strength returned, my heart learned again. I thought the past would hold me down, leave me drowning in my frown. But slowly through the quiet strain, I felt a softer voice remain. It wasn't loud, it wasn't proud, but still it spoke beneath the cloud. You're more than every place you've been. Remember what your heart learned again. Maybe love was always near, waiting for my heart to heal. Maybe all the pain I traced was clearing room for hope embraced. Maybe every scar I bore was leading me to something more. Maybe truth was born within, the lessons my heart learned again. This is what my heart learned again: to rise above the now and then, to find a spark in every fall, to stand when I had lost it all, even when I shook within. Strength returned, my heart learned again. And now through every loss I've seen, I know what healing truly means. No matter where my life has been, with what my heart learned again. I carry weight I couldn't bear, fighting just to breathe the air. I held the thoughts that pulled me down, lost between the fear and frown. I walked through nights without a guide, holding battles deep inside. But even when I bruised and bruised, I found what my heart refused to lose. Kept the tears I didn't show, hear them where no one would know. I tried to rise when light felt gone, barely holding on and on. But slowly through the quiet pain, something warm began again. A gentle truth that I still choose, a thing my heart refused to lose. Didn't shout or make a sound, but held me firm when I broke down. This is what my heart refused to lose, every hope I couldn't choose, every breath through breaking days, every tear in hidden ways. Though the world tried to confuse, love remained what my heart refused to lose. I thought the past would steal it all, leave me shattered from the fall. But in the middle of the ache, I felt the truth I couldn't shake. It wasn't proud, it didn't boast, but held me when I needed most. A quiet flame that stayed true blue, burning in what my heart refused to lose. Maybe loss was meant to show the things I need to always know. Maybe pain was there to teach the parts my soul could truly reach. Maybe love was standing near, waiting past the waves of fear. Maybe hope was always true, living in what my heart refused to lose. This is what my heart refused to lose, every hope I couldn't choose, every breath through breaking days, every tear in hidden ways. Though the world tried to confuse, love remained what my heart refused to lose. And now no matter what I face, I walk with love's unending grace. Through every storm and every bruise I rise with what my heart refused to lose.